Hello and welcome to the Hikari Kimono YouTube channel. I'm Evan, and the reason why I'm on the floor today is because I'm going to show you the proper way of folding a kimono. That's important for a few reasons. First, kimono can't be hung with our Western hangers, at least not for very long, because they're not sewn in the same way Western clothes are, and the hangers will end up leaving a mark at the shoulders. Secondly, if you don't fold your kimono correctly, it can leave unnecessary creases on parts of the kimono that you don't want creases on. So, with that, let's get started. Today I have a kofuri sode, though all kimono are folded the same, so it shouldn't be a problem. Start. I have my kimono laid out. This is the inside of it. So we're going to take the edge of the kimono closest to us. We're going to count 2 seams in. At this seam, we're going to fold the kimono in. This seam is the seam that runs to the armpit of the kimono, if you're making sure you have the right seam. And it runs the entire length of the kimono. So fold the kimono all the way along that seam. Next, the seam that's one in from the edge of the kimono here is called the okumisen. On this line, we are going to fold the kimono back in on itself until that seam here. Now this seam doesn't run the entire length of the kimono, it stops a little bit short up here towards the collar. Next, we're going to take the other end of the kimono. We're going to bring it in on itself like so. We're going to line it up to the end that we just folded inwards. And we're going to take the collars here, line them up, and fold them all the way down. Next, we're going to take the last seam here, which should be a little bit in from the edge. We're going to take that seam and pinch it, and raise it, and bring it towards us here until it meets the other side. When it meets the other side, this fold here should be right on the center back seam. So fold that the entire length of the kimono, and then we're going to take the kimono and bring the top closer to us. So here at the collars, we've lined up the collars here all the way to this point. On the collar, your kimono probably already has creases at the collar here. 2 that are outwards and 1 is inwards, the inward one here being on the center back seam. So when the collar folds along those lines, and then you bring these 2 points together and hold the other end of the collar, this should come to lay perfectly flat. So now we're going to take the other sleeve of the kimono and line it up with the sleeve on our side here. Now our kimono should be one width and throughout the entire body. For our last steps, you can see here at the collar, there's this curve here where the collar is. So I like to take this point here and pull it all the way out, and so the collar seam where the collar is sewn to the body is at the top here. For one of our last steps, we're going to take the bottom of our kimono and pull it on itself. Don't lift it. Drag it along itself and match it up to the top of the kimono here. Lastly, we're going to take the top sleeve and fold it over the kimono. We're going to carefully take all of the layers that we've done so far, grab in one hand, and flip. And lastly, this sleeve, we're just going to line it up, like so. For a kimono with normal size sleeves, which would be about here, if this is still too big, then take where the bottom of the sleeve meets the body of the kimono and fold that upwards, like so. But for our purposes here, we're going to leave them out like this. Make sure all your seams, all the folds that we've done were on seams. This prevents any creasing done to the main body parts of the kimono or the sleeves or anything like that. So this is your folded kimono.